What's up, everybody? It's Fiery Phoenix here again on another paranormal journey, so to speak. Tonight, we're going to discuss something called the White Lady of the Union Graveyard. There is a lady uh, that's a spirit that travels through the graveyard, and no one knows her name. She goes by the White Lady. And I just want to see, start this having fun, get going. Hey, Kara. Hey, Morticia. Whoop in, what's up? Yeah, this is interesting. I want to get this going, get more people in here, see what they think about it. You know, it's actually interesting. And to see what is going to happen, what's going to happen with it. So let's get started with it. I don't own any copyrights to this. Like I always say, I don't own any copyrights. And let's get this going. See what they say. This is from Ed and Lorraine Warren, an exclusive interview. Hey, babe. Hey, redneck. Babe, you take your medicine? Okay, let's get this going. Here we go.
Illusion. Supernatural occurrences happen in every culture throughout the world since the medieval era. Is our three-dimensional world the only existing realm, or are there paralleling dimensions that allow one form of energy to pass through and project itself to our subconscious mind?
This makes it
Ed and Lorraine
interesting.
Warren have been studying the supernatural for over 40 years and are the top psychic researchers in the world. The White Lady has been sighted for over 50 years. She has been seen by numerous people and is still sighted today.
Yeah.
You will now hear the actual interviews with the victims who have encountered the ghosts of the White Lady by the world's leading experts in demonology, Ed and Lorraine Warren.
I've done a little bit of research. I want to do some more on this.
My name is Tony Sparrow. The Warrens had heard many stories of the ghost of the White Lady, and they decided it was time to start researching and investigating the area to find out more information on the ghost that roams the neighborhood. One of the first things they found was a sighting seen by two men when they were young boys. Frank and Bo Barberi lived in a house behind Union Cemetery as they were growing up and saw a white lady floating amongst the tombstones in the graveyard. Frank Barberi is a retired Connecticut state trooper. Now you will hear the actual interviews between the Warrens and the Barberis.
Yeah.
What things have you ever experienced? Well, we used to live in the house on Sport Hill Road, the first house north of the cemetery. And at that time, it was all farmland around there, so there were none of those trees and bushes, and you could see all over the area. We had a very good view of that cemetery from our house at any time of day or night. And as kids, we used to play there. We used to play.
Well, Tisha, have you heard about this one?
Because it was before TV, so all you did is play outside.
I'm interested.
Right. And so we were very familiar with the cemetery and not afraid of it or anything. But one night we were out. It must have been a warmer night. I don't remember anything about it or how old we were, but we were still young enough to have been playing Cowboys and Indians. That was our favorite game at that time. So we were pretty small, but we were in the field below our house, and all of a sudden over the cemetery, it was dark. I saw this woman standing in a very bright
light,
and she was just standing stock still. I assume looking at a gravestone. I had the impression she was looking down. I was still quite far from her. I mean, we were at this time probably 200 yards away from her.
Oh, did you, babe?
And there was a very bright, eerie type light. I said to my brother, look at that. And we kept standing there looking and say, why is that woman in all
Hey, Miss
night,
D.
never thinking about the light till later, but I had the impression
This is
at the time
interesting.
that there was someone in the background near her. I couldn't see it. It looked like a dark.
That'd be good, Kara. That'd be really good.
Out of the light, it was dark. I guess shadowy or something. All I know, I had the impression there was someone else there, but I couldn't see the form of her. But after a while, she gets to talking about it for a few minutes. We ran into our house, and we told our mother and father. And my father poo-pooed it. He wouldn't even get out of the chair with his newspaper. But my mother came out, and it was gone. So while we were standing there talking, a car came out of Church Road from the Candy end and turned left on Stepney Road and headed south on Stepney. And as it turned, its light swept across the cemetery. And my mother said, "Oh, that's what you saw. You saw the headlights of a car sweeping across the cemetery." We said, No way. That was not the kind of light it was. It was a very white, intense light. Yeah. And that was the end of that experience. The one my brother told you about, or will tell you about, is he remembers that one. He was younger.
Oh, okay, Thunder. No problem.
He had an experience where he was coming home with a friend one night. I believe he was a teenager then.
This is
And
interesting.
his friend led him off by the cemetery to walk up to our house. And that was quite common for us to do at the time. We always walked up. We always told people, "I don't bother to drive up our walk." And he saw, again, a similar apparition or whatever it was in the cemetery. He can tell you better than I can.
Yeah, on that little road, he said, Frank, that goes up there.
Right?
On that little road. No,
Right in the cemetery.
right in the cemetery. You
Yeah.
know that little
Right, it goes-
side road?
Yeah, it goes right between the stones.
That's the one.
Yeah.
He said that.
Morticia, have you ever heard the story?
His brother's name, I have myself. Really? Yeah, that's amazing. It is amazing.
As an investigator of over 40 years in psychic research, can you tell us the first time you heard
Okay,
about the White
Morticia, I've
Lady
never heard of it.
Union Graveyard?
Well, actually, Tony, I heard about the White Lady. Oh my God, it would probably be about 25 years ago. But the incident occurred over 50 years ago to the Barberi brothers, who lived in a home
Oh, okay.
overlooking the Union Graveyard. As boys, they would play in the yard late at night. And on the very first
Looked into
occasion when they seen the White Lady, they were playing, I think, Cowboys and Indians or something, and all of a sudden they looked down into the Union Graveyard and they could see what they described as a woman in white. But around her were all these black figures. Now, of course, the black figures that they're talking about would not be human. These would be inhuman. This is what we picked up on the videotape. The White Lady is a human spirit who I believe is earthbound, very confused, doesn't know what happened to her. I believe she might have been a murder victim. And in fact, I'm almost certain of it because of so many tragedies which have occurred in that area right now around that graveyard and the Baptist church, the swamp in back of it. But that was the first incident of these two young boys who ran into their parents. The father was reading the evening newspaper. He didn't want to be bothered. He thought the boys were seeing things. But the mother consoled the two boys, went out with them. But by the time she got out there was nothing there. And then a car came up the road. Now you're talking, over 50 years ago. So I don't think at that time even they had sealed beam lights. And she said, "Oh, look, it was just a car coming up the road." Now they lived in a very rural area. Even today it's rural. But at that time, there was only a dirt road leading up to their home, which once was a hotel. It might have even had something to do with the tragedy which led to the death of what we call the White Lady.
What do you want to know? Well, I'd like to know any of the experiences that, you had with the cemetery. For instance, your brother told me about the time you were playing and you had seen a woman. Well, okay, I'll start off with page one. You want to get your tape recorder and put it on. Okay, years
sorry
ago,
about the
I didn't know that
thing.
my brother.
The old tape. No control over it.
I didn't know that my brother remembered this. I didn't know if he was there or not. But I remember years ago that we had an experience, or I had an experience. There was dressed in a gown with a veil. I got scared. And
I think
thought
she
to
is,
myself,
babe. I think
"This
she's going there
why they
next month.
talk about it." I ran up the stairs because we used to live on the second floor on Sport Hill Road. I know everything about it. Everything there. And it was so strange. My mother kind of flunked it off. Now, I do not remember my brother being there, but I guess he was because he remembered this so close as I do. And it scared the hell out of us. I remember them, it seemed like the thing, whatever was down there, was yelling and hollering. The light seemed like car lights. I won't say automobile lights, but it was a very bright light. But the woman was dressed in a veil and like a gown. I don't know how to describe all this stuff.
And this is 50 years ago.
First
Yeah, this is 50 years ago.
Many years ago. I was probably I'm 57 today, and I was 58. And I'm going to say I was probably 10 years old.
Brother's sighting was the first official sighting of the White Lady as
Okay,
far as
babe.
we know. This occurred over 50 years ago. As the years go by, the color of a ghost seems to fade and change colors. Time, as we know it, is different than to which a ghost perceives.
Yeah.
The White Lady does not realize how much time has passed. This is why she's still around. There have been many sightings similar to the White Lady. They are usually identified by the color of their luminosity, such as the Green Lady or the Brown Lady.
I couldn't believe it.
As the research began to unfold, Ed Warren decided it was time to get to the bottom of this White Lady hype. So he packed up his camera and pulled his van into the middle of Union Graveyard and was going to sit there night after night until he saw something. Imagine, you're all alone in the middle of the graveyard. The only sounds you hear are the crickets and the sound of a distant coyote.
It's interesting, ain't it, Redneck?
Around Union Graveyard.
It's
And
interesting.
then, close to the devil's hour, you hear the whimpering of a woman, and you open your eyes and see many ghost lights flickering in the cemetery. Seconds later, those lights are forming into a figure of a woman. Listen to Ed Warren as he describes that night he encountered
Oh, listen
the
to
White
this. It's going to
Lady.
be scary. I've never
I've
heard
heard
it.
that you yourself had quite an encounter with the White Lady. Can you tell us about that?
Well, I heard so much about the White Lady, and I'd seen so many interesting photographs and heard so many recordings. It was on a Sunday night. I was with some of our students from our classes. We went up to Union to see if they could get pictures, but I had hurt my ankle. So I sat in the car and waited for them. Now, this was around 10 o'clock at night. And as I sat there, I could see off in the distance around the Baptist church ghost lights. Now, a ghost light would be a light that would be flickering on and off. They are seen in many parts of our country and around haunted areas. And then they came into the graveyard, and I thought to myself, if all of this activity is going on, I'm going to go into this cemetery and I'm going to stay here night after night until I get something that's concrete, something that's solid. I want it.
Not me.
I want
I
some
wouldn't be in
bona fide
there.
evidence here that I can get on film. Well, the following night, I left my home at midnight. I took my van, drove it into the middle of the cemetery, opened up the doors, had my camcorder ready.
It does.
Now, again, I could see what we referred to as ghost lights, but nothing was happening. Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday morning,
Let me.
September
hold on.
1st at 2:40 in the morning, I was rewarded.
I'm going to do this again.
As I sat back in my van with the doors wide open, leaning against the window with the couch that I was on, I suddenly heard what I can only describe as whimpering,
I don't know
crying.
why it does that.
I picked up the camcorder. I looked outside and I could see dozens and dozens of ghost lights forming about maybe 40 yards away from me. All of a sudden, they went into one big mass and took on the form of a woman.
Uh-huh.
By this time, of course, I was
Yeah, I
already
seen
outside.
pictures.
I had the camcorder up to my eye, but I couldn't see anything. I take the camcorder away and I could see what looked like a woman.
Yeah.
I put it back to my eye again and I realized that precious moments were going by. I quickly put the camcorder onto the tripod, which I had already set up. and started to walk toward this figure. I felt, well, if the camcorder picks it up, it'll pick me up too.
Yeah.
Walking toward her. No lights in the graveyard except for a light coming from a street light, which was quite a distance away. As I started to walk toward her, she disappeared.
Oh yeah.
I realized at that moment what I was doing was wrong. I know from the sighting of many different ghosts that I've seen all over England, Scotland, the United States, that you stand still, you do not move toward the ghost, or many times for one reason or another, it will just dissipate, disappear, dematerialize. I backed up and came back into view again.
Yeah.
I stood there amazed. Now, all of this is taking only seconds. The camcorder is running. I'm watching this, but now we're joined by some other specters. As the white lady came toward me, going through tombstones, and all of a sudden there were these black figures, which I can only describe as poodle-like images, like a black poodle, jumping up against her and trying to force her toward Route 59 away from me. Now, what were these? Of course, again, I have to say that they were the very same type of spirits that the Barberi brothers had seen years ago. But with theirs, they actually heard voices. With these, I didn't. Then, as she was forced by these here specters, which we call wood ghosts, and of course, I believe that these are evil spirits, she was forced to the left of me toward Route 59, a huge figure, a monk-like figure, then came in front of this woman and pushed her right toward 59, and that was the end of it. I looked back and I could see my camcorder was running. I quickly took it apart, raced home with it, woke up my wife, Lorraine. We put it on the VCR and were amazed at what we were seeing.
Wow.
We had captured the white lady on video film.
Yeah.
That's amazing, Ed. Let me ask you this. Why would the white lady be haunting that kind of a graveyard for over 50 years? Well, why would she stick around that long?
Well, is it the white lady? Is it the same specter that was seen 50 years ago? The way everybody describes her, it is. But you must understand this too. Spirits can take on any form, any image they wish, simply by thinking of what they look like. I believe that it is one and the same woman. But of course, we won't know until some kind of community. And we hope to do that soon. And perhaps in one of our later tapes, you'll hear all about it.
Now, does the white lady only appear at Union Graveyard?
No, the white lady has been seen actually between 3 graveyards. One
Wow.
leading from
What do you think about
Westport
Wolfman?
to Easton to Stephanie.
I'd go crazy.
Most of the sightings, though, have been seen at Union Graveyard, where numerous people from all walks of life, even today, are taking incredible psychic photographs of psychic energy, of
Doing that
ghosts.
again.
They're getting
Just a second.
recordings of ghosts in this graveyard. But she's been seen on Route 59, which goes
I
past
don't know
Union
why it
Graveyard,
does that.
and then, of course, leads to the Stephanie Graveyard, where this ghost was hit by a truck one night during a fire of 3 transformers. A fireman and a police officer who were in that truck were looking for a place to put up some horses to stop the traffic. But earlier,
It is
the
creepy, ain't it?
transformers had started burning.
Well, Tessia, have
Now,
you seen
I
a ghost?
believe
Does it
what happened here was that when the fireman who was driving
go
the
to 3
was
graveyards?
looking for a place to park, suddenly the officer, the police officer in the car, yelled at him, "Glenn, stop the truck." Now, what he was telling him to do is to stop this truck because he had seen a woman who he described as white, all in white, standing in the middle of the road. But before Glenn could do that, they hit the woman. He looked up and could see the woman in the middle of the road, and he thought it was a nun. Now, this is in front of the Stephanie Graveyard,
Wow.
which also has next to it Our Lady of the Rosary Chapel and then a convent and the rectory. Now, they thought that a nun had come out because of all the excitement of the transformers burning.
Oh, yeah.
And when they hit her, she actually went backwards and then came forward almost up to the front of the hood and then went back onto the ground again. Well, they got out of the truck. Naturally, they were all shook up. They're looking around under the truck and back of the truck, in front of the truck. No woman. But there was also another lady in a car following their truck who was out of her car by this time, yelling her head off. "What's the matter with you? Couldn't you see that lady? Couldn't you see her?"
Wow.
So the fireman looks back at the woman and says, "There is no lady.
Oh, yeah.
There's no body. There's nothing."
That's the wolf den. Yeah.
Well, I understand that they looked around 25 yards all over the place. Couldn't find anything, anyone, no lady. So that was the incident which occurred at Stepney Graveyard, which of course we believe to be the White Lady again.
Listen now to the interview between Glenn Pinnell, a volunteer firefighter, and myself as he recounts his eerie encounter with the White Lady.
I want to listen to this.
Glenn, can you tell me about that night you had the encounter with the White
Oh
Lady?
yeah.
I was on duty that night, and we got a call to come in that some transformers had blown up next door to the cemetery. I had a police officer with me in the truck, and as soon as we got towards the cemetery, I was looking, side to side real quick on where to block off the road, when all of a sudden the police officer screamed, look out. And I looked in front of me, and there was a woman standing right in the middle of the road, all dressed in white, and I slammed on the brakes, and I couldn't stop in time. And when I hit her, she came over the hood of the truck and fell back onto the ground. And I just want you to understand that the truck stopped as if I'd hit a brick wall. The rear end of the truck bounced up. Everything on the seat flew to the floor. The police officer was thrown into the dashboard, and it was a totally open road. We jumped out to look, and there was nothing there. There was a woman that was following behind me that I did not know, but because I had my emergency lights on, she was tailgating me to get in between the traffic. And when we had jumped out of her car and screamed, "My God, I can't believe you hit that woman." And I hear, and she ran to the front of the truck, and she looked around, and she got so frightened, she jumped back in her car and pulled around my truck and took off. And we've yet to have her even contact us. We have no idea who she was. There was a church next door to the cemetery, and I had felt that I'd hit a nun, because there are nuns that live in that church, and I thought maybe one had wandered out into the road to see what the commotion was.
Oh yeah.
But that night, I contacted the local police department, 3 area hospitals. Nobody reported any missing persons, hit and runs, nothing. Nobody knew anything of what we were talking about.
Wow.
Side 1 is now ended. Please turn tape over for side 2.
Okay, now that was weird, wasn't it? I would not have thought that. It is interesting. It is interesting. See who we got in here to see. I see 2 people watching. It's just interesting to me. I couldn't do, Miss D, would you? I don't see how anybody could do that. I'd be scared to death. Walking dogs, okay. Right. Yes. It was really interesting. Real interesting. Oh yeah, babe. It is. It is. I was like, really? Cause I'm just interested to see, what, I've got pictures. I've seen pictures, but I don't know how to put them up here. Yeah, I'm gonna I wonder if I can let me see if I can find the pictures. Pictures here, White Lady of Union Graveyard. Let me see if I can find some pictures. Hey, Wizard, what's up? Oh, God, Wolf. me see if I can find some pictures. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to look for some pictures. Okay. Let me look here. Okay, there's one, but I can't make it no bigger. So yep. It is interesting. It is interesting. But I ain't gonna make this one a long one tonight. Because I want to do a part 2. I may do a part 2 of it tomorrow. I've got to, do some more research. I'm wanting to get some pictures up and stuff like that. And I want to thank everybody for coming in tonight. And I may do a part 2 tomorrow. And I will see y'all again tomorrow. Take care.